as follows, Mr. Speaker. Now, saying, Mr. Speaker, I was not able to go to offices, Mr. Speaker, because so many officers had gone to see what was happening, Mr. Speaker. And even when I was called also to see what was happening, I saw a contingent of GSU officers at the Gusi Stadium, Mr. Speaker, where currently the governor has his offices, Mr. Speaker, because of the renovations which are going on here, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we were not able to know what is happening in Kisii, Mr. Speaker. As a law-abiding citizen, Mr. Speaker, and a representative of the people, Mr. Speaker, one of the pastors where I hold church, Mr. Speaker, recently visited Canada, Mr. Speaker, and is there. He wrote me a message asking me what is happening in Kisii, Mr. Speaker. He is in Canada, but he saw over the social media, Mr. Speaker. Several people from my ward, Mr. Speaker, yesterday were calling me. And the last person, Mr. Speaker, who called me in the evening at around 9:45 p.m. is one of the residents of my ward, Mr. Speaker, who comes from Ogembo town. And they wanted to understand, Mr. Speaker, what is happening in Kisii. Because you know, Mr. Speaker, it was all over in the social media. It was, Mr. Speaker, in our TV stations that, Mr. Speaker, police had blocked the entrance of the governor to his office, Mr. Speaker. And that meant, Mr. Speaker, there was some either intimidations, Mr. Speaker, or the GSU officers were up to something, Mr. Speaker, which we can't understand, Mr. Speaker, as people from Kisii. And because I represent the people, Mr. Speaker, I decided that we have this matter be discussed in this assembly so that, Mr. Speaker, we can indeed know what was happening yesterday, so that we are able to give this information back to our people, because they don't know what is happening, Mr. Speaker. Some about 3 months ago, Mr. Speaker, we also had a contingent of police officers in this assembly, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, so many parents of ours, because some of us are our parents, Mr. Speaker, were calling to inquire from us what was happening. And we were not able, Mr. Speaker, even to explain.